Hello and welcome to the hybrid calculus class. Um, I'm just going to give a little bit of an introduction to how to navigate through Canvas, and then we will see each other in class very soon. Okay, so when you log into Canvas, you should be here in this home screen. And if you ever are somewhere else and want to get back home, you can click on it here. The home screen is slightly different than the modules screen in that the home screen has the modules plus also recent announcements. Okay, so the things that you should be looking at as your first pass are you should read the syllabus that has all of the important details about our class. But then I also have some, I have, in addition to the syllabus, I have pulled out some of that information in this 110A course info page. And this is stuff that is probably a little bit more likely to be relevant kind of day to day, because it just has it calls out the office hours and the location of our class and everything. All right. In general, in the module format, what you can do is you can click on one page and as you saw before, and then you can scroll down and click next, and this will get you to the next page. So if you remember back from the home screen, COVID-19 protocol was the next page on that. By the way, City College still does have a masking policy, so please make sure that you come to class with a mask on by the time you enter the building. Okay, there are some masks kind of around, and I will have a few on me, at least for the first day. Okay, so you should read all of these things coming through. The supplemental materials is a little bit, that's something that you might come back to throughout the semester, just to kind of see what other things there are for supplemental materials. So I kind of found a few different sources of videos. I know that the internet has a just mind-bogglingly huge amount of videos, and so I've kind of given you a few that I have found to be good quality. And you will actually see, I will use some of the Asher Roberts and 3 Blue 1 Brown and Eddie Wu videos in our materials. So there's also some, links to some Khan Academy stuff, and also the tools that I use. Okay. So this is meeting me. I have made a little welcome video. And here's some information about how your name appears both in Canvas and on Zoom, and also there's an option for changing how your name is presented on official school materials. Okay. So this is information about different ways to get support for online learning. And then here's a check-in discussion where you can, I believe somebody's probably, oh, nobody's replied yet. So this is just like an introduction of meeting classmates. So please introduce yourself in whatever way feels comfortable to you. Okay, you can do a video if you want, or you can do just text. Okay, so I'm not going to go over this right now. I'm going to, all of this is, kind of written here for you, and then we'll talk about it a little bit in class. But I want you to look at all of these things, okay? So this is all chapter 0, just kind of the orientation stuff. You should actually join the Desmos activity. Sorry, the Desmos activity page. So there's a link here for that. And after you do that, you can mark this as done, okay? And I'll show you the relevance of that in a minute. Okay, so let me go back and show you that. So in the modules now, you can kind of see there's little things here that are either checked or not. And you can see that, like, let's look at module 1, which I've only viewed the first page. And so this tells me what I need to actually have accomplished. You know, how I get a green check mark is I mark it as done. Okay. So this is, you can kind of think about this as your to-do list for the week. And it gives you little check marks for having done it. Okay. So in here, I feel like I should have actually, I'm probably going to edit this so that the check-in discussion says that it asks you to contribute in order to get a green check mark. So I need to mark these two done after I've read it, after I feel like I have read it to the point where I need to. Now, like once let's go ahead and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to say, all right, I've read this. I feel like I understand it. I'm going to go next. I've read this and I've actually signed up, so I'm done with this. I'm good. Okay, now I'm going to go back home. And at this point, I can kind of say, the resources I'm going to close up because I know that they're there. I can come back to them later. The module 0, I have done all of the things that I'm supposed to do. Okay, so now I am in module 1, and here are the things that you should do before coming to class. Okay, like basically, I will actually move the calculus overview into here as well. So looking at this, the overview is basically, I mean, it's a list of things that we're going to accomplish. I feel like this is kind of a formal presentation of stuff, and a lot of it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense until you get there. So here's a video for you to watch. I want you to watch this. This is actually you know, a whole introduction to calculus, and I think it's a really nice video. So 3 Blue 1 Brown is one of the people that I suggested that you check out before. After you've watched it, you can mark it as done. Okay. And then every section is going to have one of these pages. Okay. It's going to have like basically instructions for reading the section, and these are sort of the main topics that you should be thinking about as you read the section. Okay. Now every section will have online homework, which will check your correctness of answers, and there will also be some written problems taken out of the textbook. So you need to do both of those things. Okay, so the written problems are always in the section descriptions. Now, what was I going to say next? Oh, I say read section 1.1, and that means I want you to have encountered all of the material in section 1.1 before you come to class. This is like really important. You know, you should actually have a good sense of what's in there. Now, this book, and I think a lot of math textbooks are hard to read on your own unless you have many years of math under your belt. Okay, so I think so. This is where, you know, videos kind of come in, and so I have several videos that I make that kind of highlight certain things, and including, you know, I sometimes say like, this is how to view this in Desmos. Desmos is an online graphing tool, and so, you know, I will show how to do some of these things specifically in Desmos. So I will pull out specific topics, and I'm always going to be linking to Asher Roberts videos. Asher Roberts basically has a video for every section of this textbook where he kind of reads the textbook to you. Okay, so reading the textbook is, I think it's actually probably more helpful to watch his video than to sit and try to read the textbook on your own. You know, having a voice and kind of the animated I don't know, writing that goes along with what happens, like with all of the text. So, and he'll of course also add a little bit of human insight to it that's a little bit less textbooky. Okay, so this is a lot of work. You know, this is about almost 2 hours worth of videos right here. Okay, so you watch all those videos, and then after you feel like you've done all of this stuff, don't wait to mark it as done until after you've done the homework. But, you know, after you've watched all the videos and you feel like you have a good grasp of these particular topics, you can mark it as done and move on. Okay, now this is a reading quiz for section 1.1. It just basically asks you to engage on a very light level with the material. It's just really a little bit of a check to see how to check a little bit of your understanding. It's not comprehensive, but it checks a little bit of like the basic understanding. Okay, these are always going to be due before we cover stuff in class. You have to come to class with a base knowledge of these sections. You don't have to have mastered it. You don't have to be really good at it, because we're going to get more practice in class. But you have to come in with having engaged with the material, at least to the extent that you know basically what the topics are, and maybe you are able to formulate questions about what you don't understand. Okay? All of the quizzes are going to be unlimited time limit, no time limit, and unlimited number of attempts. So here, I think there's just 4 questions, and so you get unlimited attempts. So you can retake it if you don't get the right score. This is a low stakes quiz, but it's asking you to actually engage with the material and get some understanding before you come to class. And it might be that when you come to class, you have a question of like, why was the answer this? Like, I eventually got it after lots and lots of tries, but I couldn't decide why this was the answer. So, you know, this can be a topic of conversation for class too. Okay, so for this, I have section 1.2. Again, there are videos. Here's the basic concepts. Here's the videos, a couple videos that I made, and then the Asher Roberts video. Okay, I'm going to mark this as done and move on. And there's the 1.2 reading quiz. Okay, so before you come to class every Thursday, you should have done all of these things. You should have read the sections where reading means, you know, if you prefer to read, that's fine, but if you prefer watching the videos, that's fine too. I do want you to watch the videos. I do want you to watch my videos in particular, because I often make videos where I talk about things like there's certain kind of perspectives that I'm going to lean on in the class that I think are very helpful ways to look at some of these concepts. So I do want you to watch my videos, okay? And the Asher Roberts videos I just think are a useful way to kind of get an overview of the textbook. Yeah, the text. Okay. And then after we do class, or like maybe you might get started on this before we come to class, but we're going to, in class, actually engage with some of this material and give you more experience to be able to do the assignments. So there will be a reading and homework discussion that I ask you to contribute to. And then there's, in here, this is where you will click on this to load the WebAssign homework. So if you have not yet engaged in WebAssign, then when you click on this, it will ask you to create an account. If you have had a WebAssign course in the past, when you click on this, it'll ask you, you can just sign into an account. Okay, and so this will actually link to your WebAssign account, and then you'll be kind of taken to another place to do the online homework. All right. Looking back here, and I want to say one more thing. So these all say, like basically in order to get a green check mark, I have to score at least 3 points out of 4. I want you to not just do the minimum and, try to score 4 points out of 4. Use this reading quiz as a way for you to up your understanding. Okay? All right. And again, like, the homework, in order to get the green check mark, I basically set this at 80%. I want you to score at least 80% on your homework. I encourage you to set a personal goal to score more, okay? And I also will be very understanding if you don't have all of the green check marks. I do not see which green check marks you have. So this is kind of your personal to-do list of what more do I have to do in this module. And I can see I've read this, I haven't done the reading quizzes, I forgot to watch this video. Okay, so these are the things that I need to do before tomorrow. Okay, I hope this gives you a decent introduction to just kind of getting oriented on Canvas, and I will see you tomorrow in class.